people in first world countries do not have options. All you have is pay your money and get this done. What if I stayed in Jamaica versus traveling to Canada? 240,000. This is a 2-bedroom. Let's look at it. It's a nice house for 200 and something thousand. It's only 2 bedrooms, but it looks big. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. On this channel, I talk about life in Canada, studying in Canada, and personal development. Now, today I will be talking about my life back in Jamaica versus my life in Canada, and just kind of reflecting on what if I actually stayed in Jamaica versus traveling to Canada. Now, if you've been following me on my channel, what you'd realize is that I've been in Jamaica for a while. And while I was there, one of the biggest things that I've been doing is to really do some research about the current cost of living there. I was looking at the cost for houses there. I was looking at cost for cars there. I was looking into the overall cost of living there and just evaluating what if I stayed in Jamaica versus traveling to Canada. And that is the reflection that I will be sharing with you today. I hope you enjoyed and just keep on watching. So I traveled to Canada in 2020, where I started University of Prince Edward Island as an international student. And since then, I have recently became a permanent resident of Canada. Now, one of the biggest things that I wanted to evaluate is, was it worth it to travel to Canada? Like, is it worth it? And especially now when there are so many people crying about the cost of living in Canada, I think it is very fitting to talk about whether or not I think that the cost of living in Canada is worth it versus Jamaica. And the only thing is that when persons are complaining about Canada, most of those persons have never experienced another country and know what another country has to offer. However, in my experience, I have been through both places where I can do a very vivid and clear comparison of life in Canada versus life in Jamaica. And even better, I was just there a couple weeks ago. So the first thing that I would think about is, quite frankly, school. I came to Canada as an international student and I came here to do my degree. Now the question is, what if I decided to stay in Jamaica to get my degree done? What I've realized is that if I decided to stay in Jamaica, what I would have been doing now is that I would have done full-time work where I was doing a 9-to-5 job, and then part-time I would be doing school. So what that means is that I still would be in school right now. So that is the first difference between Canada versus Jamaica. I would be in school right now. So in terms of school, in Canada, what you'll realize in school is that there is a lot of part-time jobs available for international students, or just students in general has access to a lot of part-time jobs. And because of that, that has been very, very advantageous for anyone that wants to work because of the flexibility that it provides. I was able to work from 5 o'clock p.m. to 9 p.m. at night, and that was very helpful versus working all day and then going to school in the evenings part-time. If I stayed in Jamaica, there isn't a lot of part-time jobs available. Basically, there isn't any part-time jobs available like that. Compared to Canada, Canada is like, part-time jobs like something very simple and easy to get, like survival jobs. People are always looking for people. Like, it's very easy to get a job here. So job opportunities, 100% in terms of survival jobs for immigrants. The next thing that I had to evaluate is cost of living. So what I looked into is, how much is it for rent now? How much is it for just day-to-day life, day-to-day living? How much are those things currently? So what I realized in terms of prices there is that it is very similar to Canada, and that is a problem. And I think in one of my videos, I wasn't clear. If a person doesn't know about Jamaica, then they wouldn't know why I was saying these things are ridiculously expensive. I was comparing 3 years ago versus when I was there. And I think doing that comparison, persons were like, but it is expected that prices would significantly increase. However, the thing is, prices shouldn't double within 3 years. One thing you'd realize is that, let's say, for example, you were a child and you know the prices for things. For example, when you were in high school, you know what the prices were. And then when you finish school, maybe 10 years later, then the prices are now double. So basically 10 years time is when you actually experience double a price. Now I'm experiencing double a price after 3 years, which is why when I was comparing, I was thinking in my head, doubling the price is way too much. And if you just think about inflation, inflation is usually at most 11% per year. And what that means is that if you were to multiply 11 times 3 years, that would be 33%. What I'm seeing is 100% increase, 200% increase, 300% in increase in cost of living in Jamaica. And that is what I was really talking about, even though I wasn't that clear. And now I realized that I wasn't clear enough in what I was saying. And there were persons who were like, well, you haven't been there for 3 years, so that must be why things are that expensive. But it shouldn't be that expensive. Now, the biggest issue between Jamaica and Canada is that, and I'm just talking about minimum wage at this point, and I can also compare other wages as well based on what I've heard persons make and things like that currently. So, in terms of that, what I've seen is minimum wage in Jamaica. In Canadian dollars, I calculated it, it was $427 for minimum wage in Jamaica. However, minimum wage in Canada is $2,250 Canadian. So you are looking at two countries that have similar prices in cost of living. Houses are ranging the same amount. Buying a car is cheaper in Canada. Cheaper. It's cheaper to buy a car in Canada. Way cheaper. Food is like the same. And then I was seeing like some things were lower in Jamaica, some things were lower in Canada. So on average, it was the same amount for food. And then there were meats and stuff that were extremely expensive, more than Canada. And the main thing I have to look at is how much are you earning? Because, okay, these are the costs for things, but how much money are you earning in Canada versus how much money are you earning in Jamaica? What you'd realize when you do that calculation and you take a look, you'd realize is that Jamaica, persons are earning 400 and something dollars for minimum wage, but in Canada, minimum wage is $2,250. So that is how you'd get to see that the cost of living, the cost of living in Jamaica is really poor. And we can say, well, you can get better jobs. But the thing is, the opportunities in terms of jobs in Jamaica versus Canada, the opportunities for job is way more in Canada, nevertheless. So even then, it still doesn't work to be the best thing. And I know that you can compare and say, well, you don't really want to compare Canada and Jamaica because one is a first world country and one is a third world country. But the main thing is, in terms of my life and whether I see it where my life would have been better in Jamaica versus in Canada, is what we're really talking about. And as it relates to that, I have to look into, okay, how much money would I be making now? Well, yes, I wouldn't be making minimum wage while I'm there, but at the same time, I'm not making minimum wage in Canada either. So that's where things kind of vary. Now, with taxes in Canada, that has made things a little bit more complicated. But at the same time, you're still going to make more in Canada. Any way you slice the cake, any way you slice it, you're still going to earn more and have a better quality of life in Canada. Let's just take a look at what the housing market is like in Jamaica. So houses in sale. I always look at Kingston. Kingston is like the main spot. Let's just see what's going on. So they have houses 200,000, 192,000, basically 2,000, 200,000, 206,000, 240,000. This is a two-bedroom. Let's look at it. It's a nice house for 200 and something thousand. It's only two bedrooms, but it looks big. I wonder if it's just a side of the house that you would be getting. This looks really big. There's no way this is just a two-bedroom, two-bathroom. This is huge. Ooh, this one is inexpensive. Here we go, 61. That's not bad. It needs fixing. Definitely would have to rip out these cabinets and redo it. Repaint the grill. Whatever is happening here, would have to fix that. Okay. Doesn't look bad. I don't know what's happening in here. What's this? This door would have to be changed. Up here would have to be changed. Look a bit more modern. Change this. Okay. So a regular degular house, we're looking at about 61,000 US dollars. Okay. Here's one, $103. Not bad. And then it depends on the area. If it's a dangerous area, then that is another thing again. A lot of houses are available. That's good. Is this just land? This is just land. $6 million, 38,000 US dollars. Okay. It's on Duke Street. Okay. These are the prices. 400,000, 400,000 US. This is basically 450,000, 500,000, and so on and so forth. Yeah, these prices are insane. I'm like, when did these prices get this high? Because it was nothing like this a few years ago. Nothing like this. Like this just skyrocketed where now they are at the Canadian prices. Houses in Canada. We're not going to go with Toronto because Toronto is insane. Okay, so houses in Canada, I just checked this website, Kijiji Houses in PEI, and the Canadian market is a lot more active. So I already took a look at it just now, and you can see like houses were just came up like 5 hours ago, 5 hours ago. A lot of these were listed 5 hours ago, but most importantly, we're looking at prices. So 400,000 in this is PEI where I am. You can get houses for 700. So that's on the high side, but this is a very big house for that much. And it may be a new build as well. So things like that. Yeah, this looks like a brand new house. So if it's a brand new house, then it's gonna be more expensive. But the houses we're looking at in Jamaica are houses that are used already. And I'm not sure what year, but they are pretty used. So like this one, for example, you can see this doesn't look like a new house. Yeah, I'm kind of advertising PI free at this point, but yeah, if these are your houses, lucky you that it pops up. But this is available online. Just go on Kijiji. Lots of details to purchase a house. This is how you look for houses. You just contact the people and tell them you're interested and purchase a house. And after a month or 2 months, you will have this house for yourself once you can finance it. Yeah, so yeah, I never like this with a house. This part, I just find it annoying in my room. But yeah, this looks good. Looks pretty solid. How much was this for? 334,000. Let's see. We can't find cheaper houses. Like these are expensive. Look at this huge house right here for 539. Like these are like bigger houses. Let's find some cheaper ones. So here is a cheaper one, 200,000. So they're definitely there. You just have to look for these houses. Like don't only look generally, like look in detail for houses. So it's a two-bedroom, one-bedroom, two-bedroom, one-bathroom. This looks nice. The water is close by. Other houses are around. I love the floors. Love the many cabinet spaces. I wonder what this is. Is this a fridge? Yeah, the cabinets looks really good. Okay. This might be this might be AI. The house more than likely will come unfurnished, and this could just be AI furnishing the room. Mm. Yeah, this is really nice. I like this house. And it's just 219,000. Again, I'm not looking in a lot of details because where it's located is important. Morrifa. I don't even know where Morrifa is. Morrifa. Where is Morrifa? That's far away, I believe. But yeah, you can definitely find cheaper houses. Um, you can find inexpensive places. Hmm. Are they saying this is for $35,000? What? For a house? Should probably go buy this now. What? Oh, it's a mobile home. Okay. And they're just selling the house alone, not the land. $35,000. Seriously, like this is a legitimate website. Like if you're interested, you can always travel to Montague and check out these places. Like these are legitimate places that are available right now. Okay, 300,000, 200,000. Okay, this is unreal. There's no way there's a house for 6,500 unless it's being rented. I'm looking for house to purchase. So 329,000. I don't even know these places, but their houses there. These look like new builds. So this is just the model of what it would look like. Wanted to buy 400. And something you can also do. Here's another 200. Ugh, this red is just mm-mm. And this at more river as well. So it's two-bedroom, two-bathroom as well. Yeah, it's fine. It's in cabinets. Where are the cabinets? Okay, so this kitchen is small. Oh, they have the pots and pans out in the open. Mm-mm. Gosh, I mean, more than likely you won't get the house with furnished. It's going to be unfurnished. Sometimes it will come with the washer and the dryer. Okay. It's fine. It's okay. Good to have bigger windows, like big windows, but yeah, hopefully living room isn't so yes, as well all the windows are very small. And yeah, into outdoor area and then this goes like right there. Okay. We have a little bit of area here. Sitting area, fireplace. Okay, cool. All right, that's enough house hunting. And oh, before I leave, oh, I see one for 120. Now I have to look at this. Yeah. No, this makes me want to move to Summerside. Go buy a house in Summerside. Let's see this one. Doesn't look bad. Is this a mobile home? No, no, nope. And my minus straight. What is this? What's the floor? And these floors. Mm-mm. Nope. These floors would have to be ripped out. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. But yeah. Ooh, passage of small. Mm-mm. But yeah, if you just want a house to live in, somewhere to live, it's somewhere to consider. From the outside, it looks very good. Um, so something we can do as well when you're going on these websites is just come up here and look for here sorted by. I'm not instead of saying newest first, we say low prices first in case we're looking at the cheapest to the most expensive deals. And then you'll see the cheapest prices. This is not realistic. This must be rent. Oh, here it is. Winter rental available. 6,500. 19,000 to be moved. So you're just purchasing the thing there. It looks like a barn where you can live in it. Okay. You can buy a home. You can buy a piece of land and put one of these houses on it. I'm going too far away. Right? So I'm going to get back. So 49,000, 65,000, 70,000. Compared to the 72,000. So like there are many cheaper places in Florida as well. Let's say I was in Jamaica. We're going to say on the high side, I would probably make 200,000, and that I don't even see where that would be a high enough of a possibility of making 200,000 per month. If you think about it, minimum wage in Canada would be about two. Let me get the let's do the calculation, make sure we are accurate over here. So $2,250 in Canada. Let me just check the conversion, see. Canadian dollars to Jamaican dollars. Where are we at? $114. So $114 multiplied by $2,250. So minimum wage in Canada is actually 256,500 Jamaican dollars. Now, minimum wage alone in Canada is $256,500. Now, yes, you have better ways of living in Jamaica on a cheaper budget. What do I mean by this? If you're in Jamaica versus Canada as an immigrant, more than likely if you have a child, then you would have to pay for childcare in Canada. But if you were in Jamaica, you more than likely have a family member that can take care of your child while you go to work. So you have to pay for childcare, which is very, very expensive. While in Jamaica, more than likely you wouldn't need childcare any at all. So that is where, yes, it seems as though people in Canada and first world countries making a lot of money and everybody rich. But that's not necessarily true. This is because of what life is like. It's really the structure of life. Yes, you're making more money. Yes, the cost of living is similar in Jamaica and Canada, but at the same time, as I say, in terms of daycare, that's just one example that came to my head. Let me try and get another example. In terms of rent, maybe people want a nicer apartment to live in, but rent is currently like the same amount in both Jamaica and Canada that I've seen. But then in Jamaica, You can really hustle and slowly build a house. You can live with your parents. You have those options that you don't have in Canada as an immigrant. So that is how things becomes more expensive, where yes, you're making a decent amount of money, but there's a way that you can live cheaper in Jamaica. For example, for food, you don't necessarily have to buy food in Jamaica. You can actually go and pick food off of the tree and you have some food to eat. In Canada, you have to pay for every single thing. So this is why you just have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because it's kind of a mixture where it's not clear cut. You can't say, well, you're making a lot of money, so you have a lot of money. Because you also have more expenses. But the thing is, it's the same prices in Jamaica, but there are options to make things cheaper. You have options. People in first world countries do not have options. All you have is pay your money and get this done. And that's what I say, like, you always have family members. I think family members really help you. If you don't into a job in Jamaica, you can live with your family member and then can give you some food to eat and you're good to go. Like, that's all you really need. If you're not in a job, the only thing you really need is food. If you're not in a job in Canada, you have to be paying for rent, you have to be paying for phone bill, you have to be paying for, there are a lot of things that are mandatory expenses that you still have to pay. And that is why, even though you're making a larger amount of money, you're still not making that much money because of the structure of life. Now, overall, thinking about overall cost of living in Jamaica versus Canada, and just quality of life, is where your quality of life in Canada will definitely be better. Now, why your quality of life would be better in Canada is because you would have a higher amount of income, even though yes, you have to be spending on this, spending on that. Even just the fact that someone in a first world country, like an immigrant, is able to travel, like you can travel to other places, and that's not that expensive. Like, you can do it. If you want to travel to Paris, you can save up and get that done. In Jamaica, you don't have the money to do those things. So that's where the quality of life is going to always be better. Quite frankly, there is no clear-cut way of saying it. There isn't a way to say, well, life in Jamaica would be better, life in Canada would be better. It's more so thinking about what you care most about. In terms of income, 200 and let's say 200,000 per month, that's a high salary. Like, that's a high range. I don't even think supervisors make $200,000 per month there. Maybe they make 150,000. I don't even think so. Like, salaries are very, very low, which is what they need to work on. They really need to up their salary scale significantly to keep up with the cost of living, because it is way down there compared to the cost for things. Like, people in Jamaica would never be able to travel. Most people cannot afford to buy a car. Those things here, basic necessities, like a car is a basic necessity, and in Jamaica not many people have a car. Now I'm hearing a lot of people starting to buy a car, but I think that's because loans are now well known and everyone is like, oh yeah, I can just get a loan and buy a car. But it's still a loan. You still have to be slowly paying that back. And in Canada, you can actually buy a car cash. Yeah, you can easily buy a car cash if you're buying it used. If you're buying a new car, then that's a whole different story. But if you're buying a car used, if you can't buy cash, then more likely you're not working or something. I don't know. There must be something wrong there. Like, you should be able to purchase a vehicle cash if you're buying it used. If not, check your spending, because something must be wrong. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was insightful in some way. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to recommend a playlist of cost of living in Canada for you. It's going to be right here up on the screen as usual. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.